The unlikely trio of Elon Musk, Kanye, and Donald Trump found themselves in an extraordinary situation. Been mysteriously transported to a hidden location in the middle of a dense forest where they were surrounded by a strange cult worshipping a mysterious golden idol. With no way out, they had to figure out a way to escape while avoiding the cult's leader, the Terminator, who was determined to keep them from leaving. The group had no choice but to reluctantly enlist the help of the Terminator, who surprisingly seemed to know more about the cult's ancient secrets than anyone had expected. With Elon Musk's technological ingenuity, Donkey's stubbornness, and Donald Trump's bravado, the group had a chance to escape the cult and return to the real world. But first, they had to outwit the Terminator and find a way out of the cult's secret. Either way, it would be a formidable challenge, but the trio was determined to make it out alive. As they ventured deeper, the trees grew thicker, and the darkness seemed to closing around them. The only light came from the Terminator's flashlight, which cast an eerie glow on the trees and underbrush. The group trudged on, the Terminator leading the way. Suddenly they heard a loud noise and the Terminator stopped in his tracks. He motioned for the group to hide, and they quickly complied. Peeking out from behind a tree, they saw a group of cult members patrolling the woods. The Terminator had been right, the cult was actively searching for them. The group silently waited until the cult members had passed and then continued their journey. The Terminator had been right, the cult was actively searching for them, and they had to stay alert. After a few more hours of walking, the group finally reached the edge of the woods. With a sigh of relief, they emerged from the darkness into the light. They began their journey to the woods, the Terminator leading the way. The woods were dark and foreboding, and the group was wary of what might be lurking in the shadows. The group decided to keep the details of their experience a secret, but they knew that the cult secrets were not safe in the hands of the cult anymore. They knew that the cult secrets had to be protected, and the only way to do that was to make sure the cult was gone for good. The group soon began to devise a plan to ensure the cult's destruction. They knew that the only way to make sure the cult was gone for good was to expose them and their secrets to the world. They were determined to make sure that no one else ever fell victim to the cult's lies. It was a daunting task, but the group was determined to make sure that the cult was gone for good. With Elon Musk's technological Noah Donkey's stubbornness and Donald Trump's bravado, the group was confident that they could put an end to the cult and protect the secrets of the ancient world. But their relief was short-lived as they soon found themselves surrounded by cult members. The cult members were dressed in strange robes and chanting in a strange language, and in the center of the circle was a large golden idol. The Terminator stepped forward and spoke to the cult members, and they quickly fell silent. It was clear that the Terminator was in charge, and the group had no choice but to follow his lead. As the group approached the Terminator, they were surprised to find that he was not the menacing figure they had expected. He was an ever-looking man. He spoke in a calm and collected manner. Elon Musk, Donkey, and Donald Trump exchanged glances assured of what to expect. The Terminator then began to explain the cult and its ancient rituals to the group's surprise. He was well versed in the cult's history and mythology, and he seemed to have a deep understanding of its secrets. He also seemed to understand the group's mission and why they were there. He offered to help them escape the cult, but only if they agreed to help him with a task he had been working on for quite some time. The group agreed. The Terminator began to explain his plan. He was working on a way to break the cult's power and free the people who were trapped in its grasp. He had been researching and experimenting for years, and he believed he had finally found a way to do it. With the help of Elon Musk's technology and Donald Trump's bravado, the group might just have a chance of succeeding. Reluctantly, the group agreed to cooperate with the Terminator. Had no other choice if they wanted to escape the cult and return to the real world. The Terminator warned that the task would be dangerous, but he was confident that with their combined skills, they could succeed. With a newfound sense of determination, the group set out to complete the task. The Terminator led them to a hidden chamber deep within the cult's temple. Inside, they found a vast collection of ancient artifacts and writings. Elon Musk quickly got to work studying the artifacts, while Donkey and Donald Trump searched the writings for clues. After hours of searching, they finally uncovered the cult's ancient secret. The golden idol was actually a powerful magical artifact that was capable of granting its user immense power. Musk was determined to find a way to use the artifact to help them escape. Elon Musk quickly set to work, examining the artifact and the ancient writings for clues. With his tech savvy, he was able to decipher the artifacts in the workings and figure out how to activate it. He created a makeshift device that allowed him to control the artifact remotely, access its power. With this newfound power, Musk was able to create a portal that would let them back to the real world. The group gathered around the portal, and with a few clicks of a button, they were finally free. Donkey, however, was not so eager to leave. He was determined to stay in this for the cult secrets despite the group's pleas to leave. He refused to budge, and it took a lot of persuading and convincing from the group to finally get him to come along. Despite his stubbornness, Donkey's curiosity and determination to learn more about the cult secrets had helped them escape. With the portal open, the group quickly made their way back to the real world. Donald Trump, however, was not content with simply escaping. He wanted to make sure that the cult would never bother them again. With a cocky smirk on his face, he stepped forward and declared that he would take care of the cult himself. Despite the group's protests, Trump confidently strode forward and began to negotiate with the cult's leader. With a few well-placed threats and promises of riches, Trump managed to convince the leader to abandon the cult and retreat into the woods. The group was amazed at Trump's bravado and thanked him for his efforts. With the cult defeated, the group finally made their way back home. Elon Musk, Donkey, and Donald Trump had done it, had managed to escape the cult and return to the real world. But the group knew that they had not seen the last of the cult. To ensure that the cult would never bother them again, they decided to keep the cult's ancient secrets to themselves. They were determined to make sure that no one else would ever be taken by the cult's lies. The group returned home, relieved and exhausted from their ordeal. But they still had a lingering sense of unease, knowing that the cult could still be out there. They had escaped, but the cult was still out there, still a threat. But for now, the group was safe and back in the real world.